So this course is called Rendering Utopias, and it's a 4-day intensive course. And we have really at the core of it been debating how do we want to live with technologies in the future. And we've been approaching that in lots of different ways. So we've been questioning what is a utopia, what is a dystopia. We've been looking at queer and feminist theory. We have been looking at speculative fiction, science fiction to kind of imagine the otherwise, imagine elsewhere, all with the kind of focus of making sure that marginalized voices are included in this space. The course is open to all UAL students from any kind of level of study. So that's the most incredible thing about the intensives is they bring people from different disciplines, different backgrounds, different colleges to kind of learn from each other. I think for me, like the most interesting thing about the intensives is that a photographer has so much to learn from a UX designer. A graphic designer has so much to learn from someone studying creative computing. And there's this kind of like exchange of ideas and knowledge.
Like, I think where the interesting ideas come from is always the like small groups of people and the creatives. And like I found really beneficial about this week is like talking to people that actually understand like the way I feel about it and like think in the same sort of way. It's just kind of like tied ideas together that I'd already thought about and put them in a different space. Everyone's come from different backgrounds and has different skill sets. So like seeing what other people can create with them, like 3D rendering and all of this stuff is just really blows my mind.
I think for me it was really interesting to first get outside of my course. I think this is really interesting because you get to meet new people, see new perspectives, especially like my course is for 2 years. This is a really long time with the same people, which is great, but it's also like nice to have different perspectives about what you're thinking. I think Utopias are here for us to reflect about what it could be, what would be the best possibility, but at the same time, they're not really achievable, I would say. Especially because we all have different perspectives, different utopias that we all believe in.
Especially when we discuss like utopia or even just, you know, like technology futures, like our futures, there's this like hopelessness aspect to it of like we look at like the environmental crisis, you know. I think a lot of people see it as such a huge problem that they don't even want to like get started to begin with. And flipping that on its head and thinking of it is a huge problem, but we are making incremental change that are like real and tangible and things that we can actually do is such an incredibly hopeful perspective to take. And I just find that really inspiring.
But I think if you understand that things in the future could be different, could be done in a different way, you can actually repair things now, do things in a better way. So I really enjoyed this relationship between imagination and action.
The way that we've been working is kind of like learning and listening and then applying that into an activity, and then you kind of go in and out of this cycle. So I think the rewards of it and the kind of the purpose of it come from collaboration and this kind of intense form of collaboration.
My work is that I represented the amount of waste generated by each country and we put them into the spring rolls. Different ingredients represent different types of e-waste, such as like screen-based, small devices, large devices, etc. And we use countries such as China, US, Brazil, Japan, and such. They each produce different amounts of e-waste in 2021. So we assigned different dimensions to them and we created the spring rolls of different lengths.
So our idea here is to take some text prompts that we've generated via TextGPT, the AI text-to-text prompt generator. This was around the concept of utopia and the relationship of people with technology. So we came up with like a list of rules on how to create a harmonious utopia.
What qualities are necessary for utopia? Empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of others is essential for creating a harmonious society. Compassion. It is important to have a heart that is open to the needs of others and to have the willingness to do whatever it takes to make life better for everyone. Respect. Respect for each other and for the environment is essential for creating a utopia.
To me, it's very nice just to find out that I'm not alone, that there are so many people that really, respect the technology and use it in such a thoughtful way.
We're firstly creating kind of a cookbook or a recipe book to help you take care of your technologies. So you don't need to like take it for a technical place or anything. You can just like you yourself take care of it. So you can keep it for more time and not like turn into waste. And you're also trying to create like a prototype of the space where this recipe will stay. So people are welcome to come in and try to save their devices kind of.
For me personally, I feel like there's a huge waste because I'm a huge fan of like technology, so I update my technology like every year or something like that. Sometimes I feel like it's not actually good for the environment in general. Also, definitely it's not sustainable.
I think we're mostly trying to change the relationship between people and technology. So it's not something that is just a disposable thing.
I'm privileged to have this chance, the resource to update my technology. Meanwhile, there are so many people, they don't have the chance to do that. So they want to repair it or they want to keep using it. So I think that's part of the reason why we're working on this project.
The more we integrate questions around technology into the work that we do. Technology is a huge part of our lives. It's everywhere. It's everywhere we go, becoming more and more important. Questions around AI are kind of becoming more and more prevalent every day. When it comes to technology, this is what we're saying here. It's like, why not approach technology from a feminist perspective, from a queer perspective? And that can be applied across so many different disciplines and areas. And I think it's a really, really incredible way to work. I think so often these spaces for development are very exclusionary, and the more queer, trans people, elderly people, disabled people, people of colour, the more people we have in the room, the more responsive technologies we can create, the more that technologies will meet the needs of everyone in society instead of catering to this kind of small group of people.